Hello, Meg here from IT Stamping, and today I'm going to be sharing with you a great card using the Bright Blossom stamp set and the new Summer Smooches Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. We're going to be using the top note, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of my best tips for lining things up using the top note die. So I've got my die, and I'm going to start with probably my favorite accessory in the whole wide world, not just for stamping, but for life itself, and that's Post-it notes. So this is a ginormous one. I love Post-it notes, and I'm going to put it to where it lines up from tip to tip. So I'm just going to line this up, and put it into place. So I'm kind of using this as a sticky ruler per se, or straight edge. Then I've got some of the Summer Smooches designer paper, and it's already stuck down to a piece of Whisper White. And I want that middle point to go right at the edge of this designer paper. So I'm going to use some repositionable adhesive just right onto my designer paper. Make sure it's a removable adhesive as well. I'm going to flip this over, and I've got the DSP on the opposite side of the Post-it. Then all I have to do is slide my cardstock until I feel it hit that Post-it. And once I have that, then I'm ready to die cut. I can remove the Post-it if I want, or I can leave it in place. So let me get my cutting plates ready to go. So I did go ahead and remove the Post-it note, and I've got it pushed down with that repositionable adhesive. So now I don't have to worry about it scooting. Cutting plate on the bottom, cutting plate on the top, and away we go. Now for the big reveal. Ta-da! Look at that. Perfection. Then, before I forget, I'm going to remove that repositionable adhesive. This is probably one of my most favorite ways to do die cutting when I'm using Designer Series paper with it. Alright, so now we're going to do some dry embossing. So I said we'd be dry embossing. Did you think I meant with the big shot? Well, we're going to be using the Simply Scored, and I have two pieces of Whisper White. They're 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. I'm going to use my Simply Scored tool, and I'm going to score 1/8 of an inch in on all four sides. This is just going to give us a fabulous frame. Now, for those of y'all that know how much I love polka dots, it was very tempting to use my Perfect Polka Dots embossing folder. But when I looked at doing that, and I had the Polka Dot Designer Series paper, it was a little bit too much polka dot even for me. Alright, so now I've got these both scored, and we are ready to do our stamping. So we're using the Bright Blossom stamp set, and I'm going to be using the little polka dot one because, well, they're polka dots, and the cute little leaves. I've got two different ink pad colors. I have Wild Wasabi and Real Red. I have one of the pieces of Whisper White that we dry embossed with doing the frame with the Simply Scored. Then I have another piece that's just an extra piece, and that's what I'm going to start on. So I'm going to ink up those little leaves and stamp them 3 times. And it doesn't matter where because I'm going to punch them out. So I just kind of want them pretty close to an edge. Then I'm going to do it one more time in the bottom left-hand corner of one of the sheets that we put the frame on. Ta-da! Then we're going to go back in with our polka dot in that Real Red ink and make our cute flowers. How cute is that? I love bright colors. And don't forget this guy over here. Now we are done with our stamping, and I'm going to turn to my 1-inch circle punch. And we're going to punch out my flowers. Have you ever made an easier flower when it was 2 stamps? Okay, one more. Then I'm going to use my 1 1/4-inch circle punch with an extra piece of Wild Wasabi, and I'm sure you figured out how many we're doing. I'm going to punch out 3. These are going to get layered together. How cute is this? Okay, love, love, love this. Now we are ready to flip these over, and those will all get a dimensional. So I'll take care of that in a bit. Before I lose this or mess it up, I'm going to tuck it into the inside of my card. So my card base is going to be Wild Wasabi 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and I've scored it at 4 1/4 inches, and this will be the inside of my card. So the one that we stamped is the inside. Now we're going to turn our attention to our perfectly cut top note die. and some of the Daffodil Delight seam binding. Look at these colors together. I'm going to cut right about here, and I'm going to use mini glue dots to hold them in place. Let me get this edge trimmed up there. So just a mini glue dot on each end. Wrap this around. And I'm wrapping it around at the more narrow part of the scallop or the indentation on that top note. Okay, this is going to also get dimensional, so I'm going to go dimensional crazy here. Grab a sheet of dimensionals. Then I'm going to take my other piece of dry embossed with that frame from the Simply Scored. I'm going to put it onto the front of my card, get it nice and centered. Then I'm going to drop that top note right into the center. And then attach my cute little flowers. So I'm going to do one in the middle and then one on either side. Then we're going to make a cute fast bow out of the seam binding. It's nice and how I want it. Always adjusting my bows. Alright, trim, trim, mini glue dot. And pop that right there. Alright, so then there we have our beautiful card using the Bright Blossom stamp set and that wonderful polka dot paper from the Summer Smooches. I hope you enjoyed today's video tutorial on how to make this card. To learn more about rubber stamping for card making and scrapbooking, be sure to visit www.iteachstamping.com and have a great day.